Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European Indices for Tuesday the 4th of January, starting with the STOXX 50, then we'll look at the DAX and the FTSE. So, we're on the 4-hour chart here with the STOXX 50. I've got two ways of looking at this. We can look at wave 3 here with the WXY here for wave 4, and we've completed, and we go up for wave 1, and then we pull back for wave 2. The other count is that we've got the A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave here for the B wave here, and then we come down for the C wave here. So both are quite valid, I think. For this particular move here, I would have liked to seen, because this is the low, I feel that anything above this low here is part of this trend, to separate them as a WXY here for wave 4 is a little bit slim. But, it would have been better if this had come down and taken out the low here. That would have sort of put a bit more gravity into that count. So I think the best way to solve this, we can go and have a look at some details, but the best way to solve this is that this move up here, which we'll take a look at in a bit of detail in a moment, but I'm thinking from this little low here to where it tops out here, when it tops out, it's going to pull back in some way. We're going to be left with a high. Okay, so that high becomes the trigger at that point. Now, we probably won't be triggered in on that by, by moving in straight up there. We could do, but we normally get a better position as the market comes down and corrects, and we'll get a second high to work with and so on. And if not, well, then we'll stay safe and this can come down further at this point. It could come down for a wave 2 here in this area or wave C at this point. I have counted this up through here because on the S&P and a few of the others, we can count it as pretty much as wave 1 here and wave 2 in that instance, leaving this with wave 1 and a smaller wave 1 here and 2 here. But it will still give us the same. It will still give us a top that we can work with tomorrow. So we need for that to play out at that particular point. We'll have a look at this little trend here on the Euro stock. It counts a little bit differently than the FTSE and DAX. So in this case here, my sort of preferred count with this is looking at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2, and 5 waves up for 3, 4, 5 for the third and the fourth, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, cross for the fourth wave, and up for the fifth wave here. Now, in this fifth wave here, we'll be looking for 5 waves as well. So I can see that probably in this mess here, or even this one and here too, so we've probably got 1 and 2 in here somewhere, and then a third wave and a fourth wave. So we're just looking for that top there, but we won't. Maybe be a little bit tricky to find. But the thing is at some point this is going to move down. So as it moves down, well, then you'll know, even if it only moves down to the 4,300 and then moves off again at that point, you will still have the high to work with. And I think that's key in going long at this point. So this top, whenever it comes in, will be the catalyst for any trigger to the upside. But of course, we hardly ever use that because we'll be looking for some sort of ABC correction after that. But just in case I've got it wrong and this wave 5 is sitting over here, right, and just say we've got the whole 5 waves in here, well, then this would be wave 1 here and coming back for wave 2 and then pushing up. So that high, once it comes into play, is what we're looking for. I mean, it may already be in there. I don't think so. It's probably, if I can just take a punt at this, and this is exactly what it is, a punt. So 1 and 2 here, and then this would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So the third wave here somewhere, and then a fourth wave, and then a fifth wave here. So we're kind of looking for something like that, but you can work on that if you like. But once that high comes in, you won't know that until it pulls back, you know, and you'll go, well, that must be the high, you know, simple as that. So then we can work to go long, you know, it's like this high here, we can go long above that high, so to speak, but then we just keep working it down until we get to this high, and we could probably take it lower and so on, you know. Yeah, so that's what we're sort of looking for there. Let's just check on the DAX here. This is the daily chart here. Once again, we can look at the move down from wave 3 here as well as a W, an X and a Y here for wave 4. And we're finished, and we look at all of this as going up for wave 1 and pull back, so the same thing applies here. But it does appear that we've got 5 waves down here, so that means it's more like a flat correction that we're having. So an A wave here, and then an A and a B and a C wave for the B wave here, and then down for the C wave, coming down for the C wave here in that case. I mean, if this is a wave 1 up here, then we'll only come back for a wave 2 lower here. But once again, we really want that top to come into play. So let's just continue. So there's 2 counts that we're working here. So let's just move in a little bit further with this. Yeah, I mean, if this, you know, as a WXY here, if it come down and took out the low there, then that would be fantastic, but it's just not the case. So this is why we're working 2 counts, and we're kind of still leaning towards this particular count here. So yeah, this is the shell of it, but let's go in a little bit further and understand this move here a little bit further. So this is how I've counted, a bit different here than the stock 50, as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave and fifth wave here. Once again, got the same pattern as the stock 50 here. There's probably a retest of the 16 and then a little push higher and then a fade at that point. So we need to wait for that high to come into place to give us something to work on. So we can pretty much, you know, if it's going to be bullish, then the 16,000 here, that can become, we can look for a classic trading levels pattern here, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, some type of ABC over here, and then we can start working the different highs in that space. So it will just be our normal little pattern here. If this is 16,000 here, we've got the arrival, the reaction, we're going up into the first high here, we're looking for 5 waves in this move, so we're looking for this move back. So we use the top here to go long on, or this one, or we can refine it here, or if it's and doing it this way, if it's going to be bearish, it's just going to keep having those lower highs and you're not going to get trapped. That's the point of it all. Not totally, but it's, you know, just another good aspect of working the trend in that particular way. So yeah, that's it there. I don't know if I've worked the tick chart here just yet. Maybe, oh yeah, so we can go in and have a little look at this. So yeah, this is how I've worked it. So from this green wave, let's just get a little bit more data in here. So from, not to worry too much about it at all, but I've counted as 1 and 2 here, and 1, 2, well, all the way up for 3 and 4, as you know there, but it's kind of good to show that. So then if you've got a count, then you can compare that, and it doesn't mean that I'm right all the time. I mean, I'm just as wrong as the next person as well. I mean, for me, it all comes down to just looking for setups that we're confident with. But anyway, wave 3, 4 and 5 here. So in this instance here, let's just open this up a little bit further. So it's pretty much 1 and 2 in here, a little bit dodgy, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave here. Maybe the fourth wave could be dragged over here and so on. So I'm not quite sure just yet, but we should get it. I mean, that could even be it here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not quite sure, but we should see. Well, we want a high above here, and I mean the extension's in wave 3, so wave 1 here and wave 5 will be roughly the same. So there's not a lot to go there at that particular point in time. So we're getting that we're getting that high. We are looking for that high above the 16,000. So that's what we're looking for. So let's just wait for another session on this just to roll over. I mean, it was pretty much first day back yesterday, and when people come back on holidays, they've got grand ambitions and so on. So, you know, they all go in and buy and stuff and give it a bit of a nudge. So let's just see if that follows through with any commercial buying. Rightio. Let's cruise on and just have a look at the FTSE here. So the FTSE is a little bit different. I mean, the FTSE is a little bit different, but so from this wave 3 business here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this, but we're still left with the same issue here, but we're sort of counting it a little bit differently in this case. So let's just go in and have a little look at this. I mean, over the last year or so, the FTSE's been a different beast than the other ones, and it's been a real tricky little sucker to count. So I can count 5 waves up in this case here. I probably got it wrong, and we've got one more little high here, but let's just say that I've got the count wrong and we do get one more high here. Well, let's just allow for that high to come in, and we'll either use the 7,500 as the trade setup, or we've got it in, because I can count 5 waves in this little move here as well. So I can count 5 here, I can count 5 here, so we could push up a little bit higher, whatever, but we should be pushing down at that point. And we may push up at that point, but if we do push up at that point, we'll have that high to go with at that point there as well. So we're not really going to miss anything. We just have to be a little bit patient. So I could do the same. I could go a WXY here, but it doesn't really give me a nice 3-wave move here. It gives me 5 waves here. This is in 3 waves. This makes a nice little ABC. In the other ones, I've looked at it as a WXY within the DAX, but we didn't go to the hourly chart to check on that, I don't think, just the 4-hourly chart. So we have taken the top out here. So let's just cruise in a little bit further with this. So this is how I've counted this here, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this, and then 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave, 4th wave, 5th wave for 3rd, 4th and 5th here. And you can see here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this. It's a little bit dodgy up in here, but maybe you can look at it as an ABC. We'll take a closer look at that on the tick chart. But anyway, just showing you how I've done things, so you can pull me up on any mistakes and all those sorts of things. So yeah, let's just go over that again. So here it makes it a little bit clearer as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there for 1 and 2. Now wave 3 is a little bit shorter than wave 1, but then wave 5 is shorter still. And then I was looking at this here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. It's sort of definitely giving me like a 5-wave structure within this market. And then a bit more of a corrective move here, but it would be corrective if we took this, you know, this low out, or maybe even this one here, you could maybe even short. But this little move here looks like it's corrective, so we should be taking that top out there. So there should be a bit more upside to that. So I don't kind of really know here, and this is such a hard market to trade. I mean, if we just go back here for a moment, we've got 200,000 in here. So from this low here, for example, we can count 5 waves up here for wave 1, and then an A and a B and a C here for that. And then this move up here is in almost like 3 waves as well. Maybe we could go an A, B. Well, this is in 5, so it makes it difficult. I can't get a triangle out of here for wave 2, and we don't want a triangle for wave 2 really. But we get these sort of moves here that are kind of really jagged here. But I still need to call that wave 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3 here, then an A, B, C, D, E here for 4, and then up for 5 here in 5 waves here. And then we got this A, B, and C, well, sort of a ABC here for wave 4. So we've got these really jagged moves in this market, and it's very difficult to get it right. You know, it's not like trading Microsoft, which is really easy to trade. I'll just see how we go with it. I mean, this could be the wave 4 here as the WXY here, but yeah, I just think we'll just give it a session or two, and I don't see any trades here at this stage anyway. You know, I mean, even if this moved up to the 500 here, it's going to have some type of larger correction. I mean, this is really just across the 400 here. I should put that in. So if the 400 became the retested resistance, well, then you could look to the downside. And if 74.30, the top of group 1, if we give this a little bit of definition here, then we can look at the 74.30, the top of group 1 there. If that becomes the tested support with a classic trading levels pattern, we've already got all the reaction, so we just need the first high above the level. Well, then you could go long above that, you know, if you wanted to try your luck, so to speak, you know, and trade up to 5 and get out. Don't hang around, okay? So, I mean, this could count impulsive up here, the way that this market does things like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and an ABC here, and then we, you know, continue to move up, because that's what the FTSE's doing. It's doing all this weird stuff over the last year, and it's sort of like, it's, you know, it's sort of given me a sort of boxing routine of sort of 6 goes, really. So I'll leave it all at that. Let's just see how the market settles. And also, too, I want to see if the S&P makes a new high above the 4,800, because that's also going to carry some weight in determining a further trend to the upside. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. It's our first video on this, coming back for the new year. So, yeah, have a great trading odyssey in 22. Cheers.